Thanks for joining me, Kate. Wanted to expand a little bit on this conversation of skilling for AI.
Absolutely.
As a newbie myself, it's trying to figure out how I get smart about it. What do I do? How do I bring my business knowledge to bear? But maybe you could tell me a little bit about your journey, how you got into it, and what your passion is around skilling for AI.
Absolutely. So I'm a scientist by training, just a regular scientist.
I'm impressed.
Not a data scientist. Today I would be a data scientist, but that did not exist. So my background is in STEM, in biology.
Okay.
And I ended up in the AI space quite by accident, or in the tech space by accident. And I think one of the really interesting things that I've seen is that a lot of thought processes and the way problems are approached now in the business are heavily borrowed from how science does things, especially in this technology. So when I think about the next generation of skills, I encourage customers to think about not only the people that studied computer science, but people that understand math, that understand statistics. Psychology is becoming a big part of AI. So it's not only about the techies, it's not only about the quants, but the way AI is going, it has a lot of soft skills that are required to create healthy systems. Your first question, though, is where do you start? So maybe let's start with where do you start? I think that's the most important thing. I think it depends, right? The best thing you could do to start is just get a sense of where the technology is today, and most importantly, what it can and cannot do. I think that is a first step to demystifying AI. AI is a very big concept.
Intimidating.
It is intimidating, but AI is not that smart without humans. Right? So we're the ones who are creating these systems. What AI is essentially machines taking a lot of data and iterating on algorithms without explicitly being told what to do, and getting an outcome, which is a goal that we defined, right? So within that, there's a lot of non-technical skills that are required. So I would say start, because actually someone with a business background can have a lot of value in AI conversations once you level the sort of playing field in terms of language.
So maybe one of the myths that's out there is that in order to do AI, I have to have 20 data scientists locked in a room studying algorithms or creating algorithms, when in fact you're saying you actually need to have many different people at the table. And you may not need to hire a data scientist, you may need to hire a business person.
One of my customers said to me, I don't want any more PhDs. Because it's great to have that sort of thinking, oh, this is an amazing project and it's going to be like a lot of fun, and the business people will be like, well, great, how does that tie in to our value chain? How does that tie into our main line of business? How does it make things better for us as a business? And how do you articulate that? And that's a chain that's so important, but not a lot of organizations have locked down yet.
So that sounds to me more like a diversity of thought, diversity of design, diversity of inclusion in an AI chain to make sure that it fits not only the technical needs, but the business needs. And then also to think about the user needs, so that we're thinking about the way that this is going to come across to all users. Instead of, like you said, just have a bunch of PhDs in a room creating algorithms, which is fun and exciting for them, but maybe might not serve a business purpose.
And I'll give another example of that. So as scientists or as data scientists, usually your goal is to optimize as much as you can, right? And optimization is great, but there's always a risk of error, right? And that's a business decision to make. What kind of error are you most tolerant to? What costs you more? And a data scientist will be like, great, we got to 99.9%, awesome. And the business will say, well no, because that 0.1% is too big of a risk for us to take. We need to flip, we need to flip over the type of error that we are willing to accept.
Interesting.
So that's like a good way of thinking about it, right?
And so when you're building an AI practice and you think about skills, you think about learning yourself, what you should be considering in AI, maybe through our AI business school with Microsoft. So just kind of getting educated, but also thinking about who you should hire and what that next generation of hiring might look like.
Yeah.
Right. So especially maybe on your team, you can talk a little bit about how you look at who you're hiring and where you're getting your pipeline from and how other managers might do that.
Absolutely. So I kind of encourage my customers to think of the capabilities versus the titles or degrees that candidates have. I know a lot of younger women will go into what's called the more girly sciences, which is biology, like myself. And I went in because I didn't want to be the only girl in class on a computer science degree.
Yeah.
But actually, a lot of what I learned in science was mathematics. It was statistics.
Yeah.
It was a lot of ethics, because for scientific experimentation, you have to study the ethics and responsibility that comes with creation. So if you think about it, a lot of people coming from sciences are pretty well prepared to tackle AI problems, and then you learn Python. But if you know advanced level math, I think you'll be fine with Python.
Okay, great. I don't know what that is, but okay, I'm gonna take your word for it.
Yeah, so Python is a type of code that's quite common in machine learning.
Got it.
But I think it's that essence and the thought process that someone with that type of training has that's super valuable to an organization, right? The sort of defining and, sort of always questioning what's being done is really, really important.
And I think that's going to help a lot of managers who are struggling to find data scientists or qualified candidates. There is a real shortage in skills in the market. And if you maybe just innovate the way you think, that you actually could find the right candidates for what you need, and then help educate them and learn, and on the job, they'll be able to be a really great asset for you in the future.
Yeah, I mean, it's expanding your talent pool and creating a more diverse talent pool, so the AI systems of the future are not, homogenous.
Right, exactly. Well, I want to thank you for being with us today.
Thank you for having me.
Super exciting conversation. Look forward to talking to you again.
Thanks, Jo.
You bet.